Pistons Live is presented by Cure Auto Insurance. The Pistons put an end to the Lakers' 9-game winning streak. They've won 7 of their last 8, and the look says it all. Daniss Jenkins and company stunned Luka and the Lakers. 113-110 the final. All respect, all love, but 2 of the top teams in their respective conferences. But the Pistons continue to find ways to win. A memorable night here in Little Caesars Arena. Alongside Grant Long, I'm Johnny Kane. What do you say there, pal?
Not a whole lot to say about this one. Just smile and be happy about it.
Well, we got 30 minutes to say something about it.
We'll say something, but I'm smiling and I'm happy about the victory.
I'm with you on that. Just an incredible game. Obviously, we knew it was going to be good, right? We knew it was going to be a good contest. Just the way this game ended. Let's get to our Buick GMC Pro Vision. I want to kind of show like the tail of the tape of how this ended up because, you know, you can look at it, you can read a box score when you're looking at it tomorrow and you say, well, what happened? The fact of the matter, they kept LeBron James scoreless right through the entire first half. He gets everything in the second half, flirts with a triple-double, came a rebound shy. Luka, they held scoreless in the second quarter. Then he came on, obviously had a brilliant night. And then the Pistons, when you're talking about Jenkins, Duren had to work for everything he got tonight, everything he got, but still got 20 and 11. And then the ball movement. Again, the assist numbers for the Pistons. Just, again, it's a blueprint right there, and that's a recipe for success.
We understood that it was going to take a total team effort. We said it at the very beginning of the game, Johnny, that it wasn't going to be one person. There was a culture that's been created here that plug-and-play guys. If you create a system and get guys who understand your system that can thrive no matter where you put them, you don't have to rely on one guy being the guy that dictates everything. And we saw that tonight. Daniss Jenkins plugged in at the point guard position, had an outstanding game. But you mentioned Jalen Duren also fortified the inside and got things done there.
Yeah.
Tobias Harris, when they needed a bucket down the stretch after the Lakers went to their zone defense, it was Tobias Harris who got the much-needed bucket to put the Pistons ahead.
Sure. All right, let's get to our Xfinity fourth quarter highlights because really this is why you love the NBA. You really don't know. It's high tension. You're trying to get stops. You got to get buckets. There's so much star power on the floor. And when a guy like Daniss was having the night he had, but it wasn't just trading baskets. Obviously the Pistons defense, they continued to turn the Lakers over tonight. But just an incredible fourth quarter to watch unfold and for the Pistons once again to persevere. These are 2 really good fourth quarter teams.
Yes.
2 teams that have won their fair share of tight single-digit margins, but it was the Pistons who did enough tonight.
The Pistons were very, very hands-on tonight. They were handsy getting into the passing lanes. They were physical on-the-ball defenders, and I thought the officials called it both ways, or rather they let it go both ways.
Yeah.
The Lakers were physical as well. It was the true talent and execution that won the game tonight. There you saw the Pistons being very physical along the timeline, forced a turnover there. LeBron James trying to get things done. Couldn't happen. The Pistons showing 1 or 2 bodies defensively to make things confusing for the offense or defense rather. And then here's Tobias Harris against that Lakers zone, one-on-one, executes the turnaround jump shot, nothing but string music. That was a big basket for the Pistons. And this is that last final basket by the Lakers. Drives hard, gets the finish. But listen, Daniss had a night, the kind of night that we expected him to have, and he gets that shot to go down. Your leader on the floor in the absence of Cade Cunningham, Jalen Duren gets everybody fired up to get out there and get one last stop that they needed. And how about this? He was the guy that stopped Luka Doncic on that final possession. Disciplined enough to stay down on the pump fake that was offered, and then he challenged the shot late. Excellent defense, excellent discipline on the part of the Pistons to close out the game.
Yeah, fabulous narration. And you know, both these teams came in tied with 24 single-digit wins. Now the Pistons moved to 25. That's the best in the NBA. Again, you just got to win. Tonight wasn't even ugly. Sometimes you say you can win ugly. Tonight wasn't ugly. They just won. You got to find ways, and to win these tight games only just proves it's going to fortify their confidence as we head into the postseason. We're going to make Daniss Jenkins our Cure Auto player of the game. Why not? I mean, it was kind of an obvious choice.
Yes.
But you said before the game that Daniss Jenkins would be poised for something big here tonight. He answered the bell.
He did, and he knocked down shots. He got going early. If you recall, early in the ball game, it was he and Luka Doncic who were leading scorers on both sides of the ball. So he knew that he was going to have to come in and be very impactful. Not only scoring the ball, but he was going to have to be a tyrant on the defensive side as well. But you saw his dribble penetration. He understands how to get his teammates open. He is such a disciplined player when it comes to playing that point guard position. We know the guy can score, but he can also, or rather he's shown us all that he can run the team as well. And I think that's a huge accolade or compliment to him that in his young age, he's able to put this team on his shoulders and say, here's what we need to do. Put them in deep offensive sets that are going to be successful. And when it came time to get a basket, his number was called, Johnny, not once, not twice, but 3 or 4 times in that fourth quarter, and he delivered. He was full of confidence throughout the game. As I said, it got going early, and by the fourth quarter, his confidence was so high, you had to continually run plays for him because the guy just simply delivered.
And the thing about with Daniss, and you heard him talking with Natalie Kerwin after the game, he's always so measured in his responses.
Yep.
And you know about his confidence in himself. Look, to play at this level, to be elite, you have to believe that you belong. The fact of the matter, we talked about it obviously throughout the year, but if you're late to the party watching Pistons basketball, this is a young man who was undrafted 2 years back, puts the work in. He's on a 2-way contract, thrust into it, makes the most of his opportunity, gets the 2-way converted to a standard contract. And now on a night where you're talking about all-stars all over the place and some of the greatest talent we've ever seen in this game's history, and the hero of the night is an undrafted man by the name of Daniss Jenkins, who has put the Pistons now, as their magic number shrinks to 6.
He proved a long time ago, Johnny, that he belonged in this league. That's why the NBA, or rather the Detroit Pistons, decided to sew him up with that real contract. And kudos to them for recognizing that they had a talented player waiting in the wings for them.
Yeah.
He has been everything you could ask him to be. Remember, this guy has gone stretches where he didn't play 3, 4, 5 games, and he came out and showed what he was all about. He's thrust in a position to be a leader instantly in the absence of Cade Cunningham, and once again, he delivers. This guy is a high-character guy, and as you already talked about, Johnny, full of confidence, not the confidence that just runs out and he's talking about it all the time. He shows it on the floor time and time again with his play.
That's it. And when the news came about Cade missing an extended period of time, a lot of people on the outside are like, okay, there's the chink in the armor. Pistons are going to come back to earth. What have they done since that time? Continue to win basketball games. Daniss Jenkins, plug and play. And he's got to be thrilled because his St. John's Johnnies are in the Sweet 16 under the direction of Rick Pitino. All right, let's hear from JB Bickerstaff now standing by at the podium.
JB, are you surprised at all, or is what Daniss and what he was able to show you tonight something you've just known about him all along?
No longer surprised. When he's gotten the opportunity, he's delivered for us, and whether it's throughout the game or in clutch moments, he finds a way to impact winning. And I thought, again, he made huge plays down the stretch, made his free throws. So he deserves a lot of credit tonight.
For your group, though, to even get in that position where it came down to one possession, what did you see just change from your guys' end and the Lakers' end as well to get in that spot?
I think, again, I give our guys a ton of credit. There was a stretch there, that third quarter in particular where things got a little sticky. We had some turnovers. We got a little stagnant on the offensive end, and then they started to make some shots. But, again, our guys, being who they are, they never give in. They stick together, and that's what I say, like through those ups and downs where some teams fragment, now teams go on a 5-10 run, whatever it might be, like our guys find a way to come together. So they eliminate those runs quickly because they are so tight, because they do want to win, want to play for one another. And tonight was a great win for our group.
Luka had 17 in the first and then scoreless in the second half. And just overall, the defense really stepped up. What did you like about what Asar did and just in general about how the team kind of neutralized them in the first half?
Yeah, I think, again, Asar is one of the best defenders in our league, in so many different ways. He can take a one-on-one challenge and make it, a living hell for people. I thought tonight, he was fabulous in his discipline. Defending those guys without fouling, keeping them off the free throw line, forcing them to go, to take 29 shots. That's the job that he's challenged with, and every night he goes out and does it. But it's never just a one-on-one thing, and that's the focus. Our system is based on guys' strengths, but those strengths are always supported by their teammates. And I thought, all those guys did a great job.
Coach, along those same lines, how big was Javonte Green for you guys tonight? There was several moments where he denied LeBron the ball, and it kind of seemed like it got him out of his rhythm.
Again, Wu doing what Wu does. From training camp he's been consistent at making winning plays, and plays that it might not go in the stat sheet, right? And those plays, whether it's denials, deflections, just being in the right spot, knocking a guy off his spot, whatever it may be, he finds a way to do it, and he's done it consistently. And again, that's the nature of this group, right? Like, they've played to their strength all year long. They don't try to play outside themselves. They just do what they can to help the team win, and that's what Wu does.
You mentioned before the depth of the team is a weapon, but without Cade, Stu, Sass, like what does a win like this say about the momentum that you guys kind of have down the stretch?
Again, you don't build this or get to this, on a night-by-night basis, right? Like, this comes from a year and a half of work and guys being dialed in, guys willing to sacrifice for the greater good of the team, being an absolute and true team. And that's what we are. We're not, a bunch of individuals. We're not guys that just happen to be in the same locker room. Like, our group is the definition of team. And whoever's night it is, it's that person's night, and everybody does the best thing they can to support them. And then, we got quality guys that are capable of stepping up and making plays that are fearless and, truly believe in the identity of this team and play to that identity night in, night out.
JB, getting back to Daniss for a second, the flow, the shot making he's in right now is a little bit different space, obviously, than a few weeks ago, a month ago. Is that something he digs himself out of, speaking to kind of his character? Is it conversations he has with you guys, your staff, with you? What's that process been like?
It's a combination of those things. He and I speak quite a bit, obviously, and you always find those sparks and you find those triggers, but you can't do that if the guy's not willing. And Daniss is willing. Again, he puts the work in, puts the time in, wants to do the right thing. But, the opportunity grows for him too. And I think, there's something to be said about that also. The scale of minutes and usage, all those things help him catch a rhythm. And I think he's found that rhythm.
Pistons improved to 52-19 on the year. They remain the only Eastern Conference team to have solidified their spot in the postseason. The show goes on. Quite literally. We'll hear from Daniss Jenkins right after this. You're watching Pistons Live, presented by Cure Auto Insurance.